Okay, so this video is going to be a little different, a little more sentimental here. In a recent video, we talked about the announcement of the Nintendo Switch 2. And in that video, it was a very quick one. I talked about how the Switch really did impact my life in a couple ways. And that's what this video is going to be about. The Switch has really impacted me. And if you're not a Nintendo fan or you don't want to listen to someone glaze Nintendo for a couple minutes, you can skip it. I totally get it. This is just a video really for myself to kind of say goodbye to the normal Switch. So the Nintendo Switch came out in 2017, and I didn't actually get my hands on one really until 2018 when I was in what I like to call the Facebook Marketplace trading phase of my life. In this arc, I was on a mission to just trade things out the wazoo. And I remember I had a really shitty gaming PC, and it was probably worth like $200 or $300, and I drove 45 minutes to trade someone my PC for their Super Smash Bros. Version of the Nintendo Switch. And I'm so fucking mad at myself for losing that one. I traded that one for a better PC down the road. Obviously, doing all of that led me up to this point, so I'm grateful for myself for getting a PC and trying out PC games, but I wish I had that Smash Bros. Switch still. Especially now that I collect consoles. It's so frustrating. After that, I really kind of fell out with the Switch and any news for it. It wasn't really until I'd say probably 2020 where I got my hands on a Switch Lite. And honestly, I miss having a Switch Lite. I might get one just to have one because they're so much fun to have. But I had a Switch Lite, and I discovered a YouTuber by the name of Beat 'em Ups. He's one of the biggest Switch creators on the platform, maybe the biggest, and it just all started there, really. And obviously, with the Switch Lite, I was missing one of the key factors of owning a Switch, being able to connect it to your TV, make videos with gameplay, things like that. It never really bothered me. I used the Switch Lite for a while, I think probably until halfway through freshman year of college, so probably about a year and a half, and I loved that thing. And then eventually I got my hands on a original Switch, and I had that for a couple months, and then the Switch OLED came out, and that for me was a game changer. Now, don't get me wrong, I love putting my Switch on the dock and being able to play games like Pokemon and different Zelda games on a big screen. It reminds me of when I was a kid playing games on my GameCube, but I'm a handheld person at heart, and I really hope that with the Switch 2, you can somehow record gameplay because there's 2 USB-C ports. In handheld mode, that would be fucking awesome. I doubt that that's a thing, but the OLED screen really enhanced the Switch for myself because I play games mostly in handheld mode. Ever since I got this OLED, it's been on. Like, it's probably turned off a handful of times. It is by far my favorite console I have ever owned. For one, the OLED actually looks really good. The brightness, the colors, everything looks so good. It makes games that came out in 2017 look like they have better contrast and saturation. Obviously, it doesn't like technically run games better by any means, but it feels like the games are better, if that makes sense, just because they look nicer. And that's something I really enjoyed, and it's something that I could definitely see with my own eyes. And the Switch's library has been so insane. This console has probably my favorite library, maybe outside of the Xbox 360, in terms of different styles of games. I mean, because of the Switch, I am now a Xenoblade Chronicles fan. I never really liked playing Mario Kart outside of being a child. Like, after being a kid, I didn't really like Mario Kart, and now I fucking love Mario Kart. Obviously, I've talked about Pokemon at length on this channel, that the Switch's era of Pokemon has honestly not been the strongest. Being able to play games that were more traditionally handheld games on a big screen is a big thing. At least for me, I really like it. I don't hate any of the games. Honestly, I'm not someone who sits there and pulls my hair out over these games. And then you had games like Super Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild that were just game changing. Breath of the Wild is one of probably the best games ever made, if I can say that. Probably not the best, but it's up there, and it's influenced so many games. I mean, you could probably track Elden Ring back to Breath of the Wild because it's just, that's how impactful that game was. And I still remember when it came out for the Wii U, and then when it launched with the Switch, people were so taken aback by the game, and I don't really blame them for that. And I've done a lot of traveling too in the last couple years of my life, and I think that's where the Switch really impacts me, because finally you have a console that you could just bring anywhere and you can set it up and you can have somebody else play with you on Joy-Cons. This is a really social console at its core, which is funny because the Nintendo social app is like god awful and you need to have an app on your phone instead of on there. It makes no fucking sense. But the console itself really wants you to play with other people. Shit, that's why Mario Kart is the best selling game on the console, or why Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate? Is that even the fucking name? I think it's just Smash Ultimate. Whatever, dude. But that's why these games are so successful in their core, because this console wants you to play with other people. I remember one of the first big trailers that really grabbed my attention was somebody playing it at school. And I remember one of my really good friends back in high school, he brought his Switch a lot of the time on rainy days and would set it up and we would just play Smash with like our friend group. And that is one of those like core memories to me. It sits there with the first time I ever played Mario Kart or the first time I ever experienced a GameCube game. These are memories that the Switch has given me. And like I said, it's made me go out of my way to try different genres, and that's something that I'm pretty grateful for. Obviously, Nintendo is not the best ethical company out there, and the Switch is by far not the best console ever made, but it's my favorite. There's never been a console that has made me eager for a new game release for a franchise or a genre that I never really cared about. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really grow up playing a lot of Kirby games. Kirby was not something that I really enjoyed as a kid, but when they showed off Kirby Forgotten Land, you know I pre-ordered it that day because it was on the Switch and it looked way more exciting. And honestly, it's probably my favorite Kirby game. It's so good. The thing's weak, right? We all know it. This console is not the strongest. We all know the Switch 2 is not going to be the strongest console out there, but for what it is, to me, it's pretty much perfect. I mean, they showed off Skyrim in, I think, the first reveal trailer or one of the first trailers for the original Switch, and Skyrim still runs really well, and I think it literally got an update a couple months ago. You have ports like The Witcher 3 or Red Dead Redemption that are just marvels for this console. Obviously, they get a hit, right, in the looks department, and that's just how it is. But then you have something like Portal that actually looks and runs better on the Switch than most other platforms. And with all the rumors about the Switch 2's third-party library, I just can't wait. Honestly, this console has aged with me, right? 7 years ago, I was 16. I had just gotten my license, and now I'm fucking out of college. So this console has aged with me a lot, and it's aged with most of us, but COVID really, I know, helped the Switch in a lot of ways. I'm hoping that the Switch 2 is at least somewhat successful, so that way it's not another Wii U situation, because the Wii was the best console for the time. My favorite console until the Switch, incredible console, and then the Wii U came out, and that console was not bad. It was just not a lot of people really knew what it was doing. And I don't really think Nintendo knew what it was doing either. So I'm just hoping that we don't have another one of those situations. But even if we do, I'll be there this time for the Switch 2. Anyways, that's going to do it for this video. This video is more sentimental. It's not really informative. So if you enjoyed the app session, let me know in the comments section down below. If you're a fan of the Switch, or you don't really like Nintendo, but you love the Switch or anything, whatever, you guys know how it works here. If you have any sort of opinion, go ahead and go down in the comment section. Let me know how you're feeling. We can chat about it as long as you respect my opinion and other people's opinions in the comment section. We'll be good. Thank you guys so much for all of the support recently. This has been Nate, otherwise known as Whikked, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.